And I was thinking that we might want to do some like special like music about love of various forms for the week of Valentine's Day. If anybody likes that idea, just send me a Google chat message with a song request and I'll vet it. But please do that soon so I have plenty of time to do the vetting.
All right, thank you, Francis. Today, unfortunately, we do not have Kate, so I'll be leading us through our couple announcements and sophomore speech for today. Not too many announcements, but we have a great sophomore speech for you guys today. We'll kick it off with the first announcement being Nayeli. Or we could always come back. We can come back to you. Maybe we can go to Miss Williston, if Miss Williston's here.
Yeah, I'm here. And this, I promise, will be my last announcement about the AMC Math Contest. But please, AMC Math Contest is open to all students. Anybody can participate, but I need to know how many people to register. So I am going to have a deadline of next Friday for you to let me know if you want to participate in the AMC Math Contest, which is a multiple choice, non-calculator problem solving. We're going to set up that you can take it at school and I can supervise, or we're going to set up that you can take it at home. Oh, and it's February 10th. It's on a Wednesday. If you take it at home, one of your parents needs to be available to supervise, and you can do it at whatever time in the day you like. It's 75 minutes. But your parent has to supervise you for that 75 minutes, but you can take it at any point in the time in the day you want. So again, if you're interested in taking part in the AMC Math Contest, you do need to let me know by next Friday. You can do it from home or you can do it at school, but I just need to know because I need to know how many students to register. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Key.
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, everyone. I have a short statement about what's happening in our nation's capital to share with you because I think it's important for you to hear from me about how I view this in the context of our school. Yesterday's events in Washington, D.C. were disturbing and appalling. Whether you call it an insurrection or a coup attempt, the storming of the Capitol building by a mob of domestic terrorists was unequivocally anti-American. When events like this occur, it is one of our important roles as educators to help our students process these events. We're here to help you the best we can to make sense of the events. Your teachers will listen and help guide you. It is our job, in my opinion, to utilize events like this as teachable moments. You might have questions, so don't hesitate to ask if you want to talk more. This is also an opportunity for us as a community to reaffirm our values. It is my conviction that schools like ours have an obligation to protect democratic institutions and prepare you to participate in our democracy as well-informed citizens. Those who incited and participated in yesterday's attack on the Capitol undermined those values. In fact, although this might sound like hyperbole to some, an attack on democracy, like what happened on January 6th, is a direct attack on the school and all of us. Democracies rely on the truth to nurture them. Misinformation is our greatest enemy, and it is our goal as a school then to help you defeat ignorance by learning to cultivate the truth. I'll have more to say about this in my weekly vlog this weekend, but I wanted to share my thoughts briefly with you this morning. So thanks for listening. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Key, for sharing. Very important to talk about. And thank you for all the teachers for taking 5-10 minutes at the beginning of class throughout today to talk to students about it. I know I was given that option first period today, along with my classmates. And it's important to talk about it. So thank you, teachers and faculty and staff, for being open-minded in that way. But we'll keep moving on. Mr. Raymond, I'll pass it on to you.
Thanks, Kevin. Aloha. Good morning, everybody. For those of you who have expressed some interest in the possibility and the opportunity of study abroad with CIEE, either this coming summer or in the future, I wanted to make you aware of a really important and really valuable information session next week on Tuesday. It's an evening webinar hosted by the leadership team of CIEE. So you will hear from the president and the vice president and the director of safety. I've just put the link to that in the chat. There's a link in tomorrow's Falcon as well. Any student, any family, a parent can attend the webinar to learn more about CIEE, and most importantly, how CIEE ensures the safety of high school students that choose to study abroad with them in the context of everything that's just happening in the world right now. I imagine there are many parents and students who would just like to know a little bit about how CIEE runs its programs and runs its programs safely, runs its programs very effectively. So if you're interested, please join them next Tuesday evening. If you're interested in applying for this coming year, please remember that the priority deadline is January 15th. I'm available and others are available to help you finish the application. If you can't make the January 15th priority deadline, do know that as a York student, you can apply after January 15th. You are still guaranteed your scholarship and you are still given opportunities to choose your first and second choice programs. So thanks for your interest, and just let us know if you'd like to learn more about CIEE and York.
All right, thank you, Mr. Raymond. It looks like that's all the announcements, so we can transition over to our sophomore speech. And today we have Ellie. So sophomores, you can unmute yourself and give a round of applause.
Does fate exist? Is it another word for destiny, or is it one of those man-made mysterious concepts? I'm not talking about the time you stumbled upon a $20 bill and called it fate that you found it. I'm referring to the bigger picture: job opportunities, colleges, relationships, etc. Personally, my perception of fate leads me to believe it doesn't exist, and relying on fate isn't logical, let alone a good idea. Our actions control our outcomes, although it may be easier for some to believe otherwise. An example of this would be my weight loss. Fat didn't fall off my body because fate decided to make me skinny. I made the decision because I was unhappy with how I looked. I wanted to be confident and comfortable in my own skin, so I put in the hard work to achieve my goals. I lifted weights and went on runs so often it became an embedded routine. I can vividly remember my arms shaking towards the end of my workout, motivating myself to push harder and get in one more rep. I remember the ache I'd feel in my calves while running. It was like an electric wave that crept up from my ankles to the bottom of my kneecaps. And these feelings inspired me to work that much harder to get to where I wanted to be and achieve my goals. Fate doesn't bring people together. A chain reaction from an action does. My best friend, for example, didn't meet me or become friends with me because of fate. Some may argue that fate brought us together. However, I believe I brought us together by having the courage to introduce myself to my new neighbors. She and I created a strong friendship because we are very similar ages and going through many of the same things simultaneously. She was the first person I loved outside of family, which contributed to an immeasurable bond of friendship. How was I supposed to know the relationship we were going to have? And most importantly, fate doesn't keep us together. When she moved away, we chose to stay in touch. We continuously reach out to each other by texting, calling, FaceTiming, and whenever we can, get together in person. And this effort keeps our friendship strong and grounded. Logically, the theory of fate doesn't make sense. Fate is never a done deal because outcomes are constantly changing by your actions and reactions. Nothing is set in stone, so fate can't be real if logically, the theory of fate doesn't make sense. Because the outcomes of things are constantly changing by your actions and reactions. Nothing is set in stone, so fate can't be real if outcomes are constantly changing without your knowledge of those changes. Relying on fate isn't logical, and as a logical thinker, it's hard for me to comprehend the concept of fate, or someone who lets opportunities pass them by, saying things like, if it's meant to be, it'll happen. The truth is, that's incredibly unlikely, and the only thing a person can truly rely on is themselves, their friends, family, or loved ones. Our actions, I believe, are the qualities that enable us to achieve our goals or create the destiny we desire.
Yay, Ellie! Great recovery too, Ellie. Well done.
Thank you so much for sharing. That was a great speech. Another great sophomore speech. Yeah, the whole idea of fate's super interesting. Thank you for giving us your perspective on it. It just makes me want to go out and accomplish things without waiting. What I've taken away from this is, don't wait for fate for anything if you want to do something in life. So if you guys want to do something, don't wait for fate. Just go do it. As long as it's legal. Yeah, thank you, Ellie. With that, I think that's a great way to end break. I don't believe we have break tomorrow, so I think this is perfect to go into the weekend with. And great first week back, everybody. It's great to see all of you, and yeah, take care.